What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Nomad Hedge. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, mainly the macro picture, the bigger picture, and then we're also going to take a look at how far this recent price move could end up going. Now, just to give you a brief history of what has happened here, if you go back to November of 2022, we started the first wave up here in intermediate degree, and then we had some sub waves here leading up to wave 3. And then we had a correction here to wave 4, and now we have concluded wave 5 here. So this entire move has been completed, which is why we've had a large correction here. So typically, when we see a correction of this entire move up here, we want to correct the entire move so we can begin a new cycle. Now, typically, when you do correct an entire move like this of 5 waves, you typically see this thing moving back to one of these levels here. Okay, so we could expect a correction down to these levels. But that's not always the case, but sometimes, or more often, I would say, especially in the crypto markets where you can see a lot of volatility towards the upside, and then you see a substantial downside volatility. So what we're seeing now currently in the markets is volatility. And we're seeing strong upside move here, basically just from oversold levels here. And so if we examine this move here, okay, from wave 5 down to wave A potentially, is that this move here looks very impulsive to me. I can also take a look at other cryptocurrencies and as well as the major indices such as the S&P 500, and they all exhibit the same kind of characteristics here of an impulse move. The way I look at this currently is that we're only seeing a dead cat rally or a sucker rally towards the upside, so we can correct this move here, this 5 waves. Now remember what I said previously, that we correct these 5 waves up here, but right now we're just correcting this move, this downside move here. So we're targeting this level here, and the reason why we're targeting this level here is because this is the value area highs of this volume profile. Now I'm not going to go into the details of how this volume profile works, but you can look at this and say, okay, where is the resistance based upon the move from here and to here? So this is the anchored VWAP as well. We're seeing a brief attempt here for Bitcoin to get above this level. Now, if we move on to a daily chart, we can see that we have successfully breached above here, this anchored VWAP, meaning that a lot of people now who bought Bitcoin at this level here are in the money. So the majority of people from this move here towards here are profitable. So we can see a pivot point here, and the target that I've outlined here do coincide with the value area highs as well. So we do have an extension from the lows here and the correction here, and then we get the 100% extension. And that's where we believe that Bitcoin will reach wave B of this correction and then resume lower. Now, if we do get above this value area high and start breaking one resistance line after the other, we could start make the case that perhaps this move here was already completed. But for now, the way we interpret this entire move here, or the sucker rally, is that it's a corrective move to correct this move here. So we've been pretty spot on here. If you have seen my post on X, we had expected this rally attempt. We just needed a trigger. And basically over the weekend, we've just moved sideways here. And the market on Monday did see a lot of upside move here, despite the indices going down. So the equity markets are obviously going to follow through here, and we're also going to see a similar upside pattern here for the S&P 500. And I'm in the camp that the equity markets and crypto markets are very correlated. And so they are driven mostly by sentiment, especially for the crypto markets. And once we reach very oversold levels, we are going to get a bounce either way. So you might be asking, okay, so what happens after we reach the 100% extension? Well, if we do find resistance here and start moving lower, that means that we're looking at this entire move here, this potential 5 waves move here, as the wave A of this entire move. And the corrective move here, we label that as wave B. And just as we project the target here from this move here towards the 100% extension, will be the same metric we use to correct to complete wave C. And so the way we do that is that we draw extension level here. So we could expect Bitcoin to correct to around 60,000 before moving up higher. That would also coincide with a 50% retracement level. Now, we're not saying that this is going to happen. We obviously do want to know what's going to happen after we reach this level. If we do eventually find support here at the 100% extension, it's going to be a very, very good opportunity to buy, as this market will likely begin a new cycle towards new all-time highs. And we will call this cycle wave 1 of primary degree. So that's a video for another time, but I just want to show you the current state of this market, and that is Bitcoin is actually showing some characteristics of a corrective upside move here due to the impulsive nature of this move here. So that was basically it for this video, and we expect here to find resistance at the around 95 to 96,000 level. Now the thing about the volume profile is that it can change over time. So the value areas could move up or down depending on the volume. But typically once you start breaking one resistance levels after the other, they pretty much stay the same. So this is how we look at this market. We think this is an impulsive move, and this is going to play out something along the line of this. So there's still more upside here, and we remain bullish of this move here, but we will obviously start to scale down and potentially look for a short position so we can profit downward here. Now, the reason why I believe the overall markets or the equity markets are going lower is that if we take a look at the S&P 500, typically same thing here. We did find support here on the SPY at this trend line here. So yes, we had 5 waves up here, but you typically want to see a break of trend here before we could start thinking or looking towards a new cycle. Now, I'm in the camp that we will eventually find support and make new all-time highs. Currently, I'm not in the camp that this is the end of a grand super cycle. I believe we are going to initiate a new primary cycle here, and the crypto markets will follow through. That's what I believe. And so this is how we're looking at the markets. We do have an open gap here with some failed auctions at these levels. So just like with cryptos, we do believe that the S&P will follow through here and then start breaking this trend line and potentially reach this level here and find support. So that's how we are currently looking at the markets, and this is Bitcoin for now. I'm going to keep you guys updated, and we'll see. We'll see if we find resistance here or if we continue to resume higher, and that would basically take us to new all-time highs above the 110,000 threshold here that we have been finding resistance, and basically began this corrective move. So we've seen, we've lived through these corrective cycles before. They're pretty long, and sometimes they just go on for months and months. But if you're patient and know when to get in or to get back in or scale back, I mean, you could really profit from these strong volatile moves here. So that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe to the channel because more content is coming out. So I'll keep you guys updated. Take care for now.